Hello and welcome to the demonstration of my Restaurant Management Systems app. I'm going to start the main folder, and first of all here I'm going to log in as M. Magoo, which is a manager. His password is first with a capital F and then 5. Right, okay, so when we're in the main application, we can see a layout of these 14 tables and how they might be arranged in the restaurant. Over here, we have a table view, which shows any items, the price of that item, and description of the item once it's been added to an order. Down here, we have buttons to add and remove items from that table's order. Now, if I click add item without having selected a table, I get a warning, and the same if I try and remove an item without having selected any items. If I want to register an order, again I have to add items to that table's order list before I can do that. Now if I select a table, I'll start with table 1, then I can select items from the menu here, so I'm going to add a soup, a steak, and a cake to table 1's menu. I can go across to table 3 and refresh. As you can see, there's nothing in table 3's menu, so I'm going to add 4 soups to that menu. If I go back to table 1, you can see that their items haven't gone away, and the same when I go back to table 3. I can switch between them and keep the items. So I'm going to add one last order. Now, when I'm happy with an order, I can register the order so it's logged in the system. I'll put a request in first, so steak, medium, rare, and comments, in a hurry. When I register the order, it disappears and it appears added to my order screen over here. I'm going to add this order as well, and I'll add an order for table 4 as well. Okay, so all those orders have gone now because I've registered them with the system. Now if I want to get an order back, I can click on the order in the list of orders, and I can return it to the layout. You can see it's popped up here for table 1. It hasn't affected any of the other tables' orders. In the Orders tab, I can see a list of all the orders that are in my restaurant system. If I want to delete an order, I can do that, but I have to confirm in the confirmation box. And as I said, I can return the order to the layout if I want to change anything about it or make a new one. I can search amongst the orders based on a series of fields. So any of the fields that I've recorded, any of that minimal information that's been recorded about any of the orders, I can search through. So if I want to search for a date and a time, then I say I just want the orders that have been made today on the 19th of December. I can say that I want orders from 12th month and from the 18th, 2016. You can see I've got the format for the dates in the prompt text there. And I'll take that up to the 20th of 2016. And then I'll put a time in for each day. I'm not too worried about the time, so I'm just going to put in midday on both of those days and search the order. You can see that it comes up with only the orders which have been logged today. If I search by items, I can say I want only the items with, let's say, soup, and it shows me any of the orders which come up with soup. I can search by cost, so if I want the orders between 20 and 30 pounds, and I select the total cost. Again, it brings me the orders which are between 20 and 30 pounds. The other ones, the other fields it can search through are fairly simple. It will just search for words, regardless of the upper or lowercase letters in them, and it will match any strings and return the orders which contain that character string. I can import and export orders. That's only because this is a manager's account. So if I want to export a list of orders, I can select those orders and it will open a file view for me, and I can write those orders into a class which I've just left on my desktop. So we can see, yep, there are those 3 orders that I selected in there. If I were to write only 2 of those orders, and then write them to the same file, yep, you can see now there are only 2 orders in that same .csv file. I can also import a list of orders. When I press this button, I'm going to import them from the same file, and it's appending those orders onto the end of my existing order list. Let's try that again as well. Yep, you can see they've been added on there at the end. Finally, in this particular version is the Settings tab, and this is only available to the manager. Now, as the manager, I can add a new employee. So I'll add myself. I can add a new staff member. I can then delete a staff member. If I don't press a staff member to delete, it will give me a warning. I can delete that staff member. I can set the usernames and passwords of a staff member. So if I go back to myself, I can give myself a username and a password. Of course, it doesn't do anything at the moment. I can add items to the menu. So here I add a salad, let's say, with leaves and tomatoes. And it's a starter. I've filled in all the fields, so I can add that item. And if I look here, I should see my salad there. If I had a field that wasn't filled in, oops, I don't want that. So I can also delete items by selecting in that list. Delete, delete. And if I go back to my layout here, I should see when I add a new item in, yeah, that's now in my menu, and I can add it to a table's order. As I mentioned, I can then delete that item if I want to. I can also see here, when I click on a member of staff, what the activity log is. You can see the things I've done recently as Michael Magoo, but if I click on mine, I have none, but Tim has no activity, so we can't see anything for him. Okay, if I leave that and start the application again, but this time log in as Tim Jones with a password of PAST4. Then you can see the same layout view, the same ability to add items to the table's order list, but no settings tab and no import and export options. In the example and the jar file that I'm sending through, there are 14 tables in the table map. However, the original idea was to allow the application to set its own number of tables and rows and columns. So by clicking the new restaurant and saying you want 12 tables, 3 rows and 4 columns, it would produce a table layout with that specified number of tables and that specified number of columns, and then you could set up your restaurant as you liked. However, that doesn't work in the jar file format, so I've provided an example with 14 tables. Okay, thanks very much.